Hello everyone, we're standing here today at the Hydrogen Technology Expo in Hamburg, organized by Transglobal Events. My name is Johan Wiebe, Executive Director from Hydrogen Standard. And with me here today is Erik and Andreas, or are Erik and Andreas, and we're standing at the John Crane booth. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you, and thanks for having us.
Thank you, hello.
Fantastic, gents. Thank you very much for having us as well. Well, John Crane, established name of the business, but maybe you can start off with giving a little bit of an introduction. But before we do, we'll start with you with a couple of questions, and then afterwards we'll move on to you, Andreas, for the filtration part. So back to sort of like a general intro on John Crane. Tell us, what does the business do in general?
Yeah, well, actually we provide solutions, both goods and service, for mission critical applications, mostly on rotating equipment. So reliability, safety and emission reduction are really key targets for John Crane to help the customer to perform on.
Okay, great. John Crane, as mentioned in the introduction, established name of the business, been a long time around in the oil and gas industry as a legacy. Can you tell us a little bit about the track record of the business?
Well, actually, John Crane is pretty old business. We are existing for more than 100 years, listed on the London Stock Exchange, and we are part of the Smiths Group. And Smiths, I believe, is probably one of the oldest businesses in the world. They are more than 170 years old. So we have plenty experience gathered over those last decades or century, basically.
And sort of the experience that you built up in the oil and gas industry, can you allude a little bit to what that was? What is it that you focus on?
Yeah, but basically we have served mostly the energy sector, so oil and gas indeed, but also power generation, and nowadays the renewable energy sectors. And what we provide is sealing solutions and filtration solutions that are used in hydrogen and in CO2 handling, right? So that's why we are here. And we can leverage the experience from the past decades, because handling hydrogen and handling CO2 is not new. That was also done in the fossil fuel industry. So we have the products and solutions, we have the service developed, and we can leverage all those, let's say, solutions and knowledge into today's market.
Fantastic. Hydrogen Technology Expo, big event obviously in this space. Why does John Crane have a presence?
Well, actually, what we've learned is that our name is well recognized in the traditional fossil fuel industry, but not so much in this new industry. So we are here first to raise brand awareness, but we're also here to meet, let's say, technology providers for networking purpose. So they get to know us, we get to know them. So we can connect and talk about where can we add value in their solutions.
Clear. Well, talking about solutions, maybe we'll do that at the end, but first sort of like a little bit broader towards the market that we're covering here, hydrogen and CCUS. Tell us a little bit about hydrogen and CCUS in John Crane.
Yeah, well, the hydrogen market is quite broad. We have, let's say, proven experience in the blue hydrogen and the gray hydrogen, but we can leverage that same experience now in the green hydrogen production process. CO2 is the same. CO2 handling is already there for a long time, but now with carbon capture solutions, we see that, let's say, compressing the CO2 and pumping the CO2 for storage in empty and depleted gas fields is a key thing in the market now. And we have the solutions, both the products and the service, to help develop this market.
Well, great hook to the next one then. Okay, let's talk a little bit about those products and solutions, please.
Yeah, well, basically the prime solutions are around pumping liquids and compressing gases. So we have mechanical seals that help to seal the pumps, particularly if you think about a difficult application like CO2. But before you get to a liquid phase, you have to compress it. For that reason, we need to have, let's say, sealing solutions for compression and filtration solution to help purify the CO2, and also help purify the hydrogen to take out any moistures, and any contaminants that can damage equipment down the line. So it's also underlying the criticality of our solutions. If we get it right, then there are less troubles and more reliable equipment down the line.
Okay, so before we move on to Andreas and the filtration side of things, then final question on my part. You talked about impurities and water. Tell us a little bit what the filtration system actually covers, or is that something that Andreas is going to...
I can do it really high level briefly, but I'll leave it to Andreas to go in depth. But basically what we do is what we call as a purifying. We take out the moisture that comes from the electrolyzer because the hydrogen gas is still quite wet. So you need to take out any moisture to get it dry. And we take out the particulates that come from equipment upstream think about rotating equipment, valves, pipes, to make sure we don't damage any equipment further downstream. That's basically what we do.
Okay, great. So moving on to filtration, we can sort of keep as we stand. Moving to filtration, Andreas, tell us a little bit. We've got basically 3 topics that we would like to address. First one, alkaline. What would you guys like to say about filtration and in the alkaline space for electrolysis?
Yeah, with the 3 applications that we are, let's say, addressing in that technology, the live filtration is something that requires quite some corrosion resistancy and some detailed knowledge, let's say, of material choices for the pressure vessels. You need to pay special attention towards the filter medias, and let's say to have a complete system running exactly as the clients need that to be, to put a focus on the reliability, the material choices and the expertise that you need there remains with your suppliers. And John Crane is in the position because we have first of all the track records, we have the vast experience, and we have a complete, let's say, degree of freedom if it comes towards filter media choices and the likes, because we can really design down to the very last detail within the process itself and can bring the technology that is state of the art exactly into that application. Yeah.
Okay. On the applications, there's a couple on display here on the booth, or one in particular, and a couple of components, I suppose. Tell us a little bit about the features of this product that's standing here in front of us. Is it the FCF, if I get it correctly?
The flow conditioning filtration system is the latest, or let's say one of the latest product releases that we did as John Crane, that has certain features because our clients are globally active. So for us, let's say a key feature for those devices is that we do support a lot in terms of certifications, because we can globally introduce those parts as we go for a forged and bolted setup, which is a technical term, but let's say it helps a lot for the clients to comply with any rules wherever they are on the planet. We also applied some CFD modeling on those devices, and that led towards a more compact design, which reduces your investment, because you need smaller vessels. Some safety features like double block and bleed setups, which support the protection of your employees in the plant and helps you a lot to achieve exactly what you like, to have the driest possible gas feeding your systems and limiting your effort and your risks downstream drastically, let's say.
Okay, downstream, a point that we can sort of finally move on to, sort of the mobility part. Tell us a little bit why this system is particularly useful to have high quality features or sort of product downstream, for example, in the mobility sector.
Of course, all of the end users are expecting a perfectly dry and particle-free gas, for their fuel cells and all the devices that are used. So for the refueling process, as well as for combustion or whatever you want to do with a hydrogen or any other gases, you expect something that is ultra pure and does not give you any trouble at all. Yeah? And you can achieve that, of course, in the multiple pressure stages with a proper filtration. So coalescing and particulate filtration in circumstances like 350 bar with hydrogen, especially on the drastic temperature jumps that you can see in those systems with all this compression. Even 1000 bar filters is necessary to be implemented there to protect your devices and to have something reliable that you can bring on the road or wherever you need it, for your power generation.
Fantastic. Reliable equipment for reliable and high quality products is definitely what we need in the hydrogen industry. Andreas and Eric from John Crane, thank you very much.